These are the Wago connectors from Harbor Freight. They're not actual Wagos. You're going to see they're made by Pittsburgh. If we go on harborfreight.com, you're going to see they're made by Vanguard. What you need to know about these, the amperage rating. It's not on here. You can see that they're for 600 volts, they're for 221 degrees Fahrenheit. All that stuff is useful, but the most useful thing to know is what the amperage rating is. Until we know that, I don't recommend you install these inside of a house. They are UL listed though. Also, UL listing, not on here. When we look at UL listing, what are we talking about? You're going to see that pretty much everything has a listing. It could be a CSA, which is Canadian Standard. It could be UL, which is Underwriters Laboratory. It could be ETL, which is Intertech. All these listings are laboratories that have tested these products. So, what that means for you, if you install these, you're covered. As a contractor, you're okay to install these. We still need to know what the amperage is before you install them. If these are only rated for 15 amps, you can't put these on a 20 amp breaker. So that's first and foremost. Next, let's see where the UL listing is. The UL listing is right here. It says UL on it. These should be good to go. What you need to know when you're installing these, if this is your device, for tightening this screw, we might want to get around to this screw. Instead of flipping around here, we might wind up flipping our device. Or we might get this all the way installed, realize the darn thing's upside down, and start spinning it around. What does that mean for these lever nuts? As a homeowner, I recommend lever nuts over wire nuts because you're not a professional. You might not make up a great joint. If you're not competent enough or capable to make up a good joint, you're better off using the lever nuts from Ideal, the Wagos, or these Pittsburghs. They're listed again. We can use these. We just need to know what the amperage is. When we install these in here and we start twisting the wire, it's important to know what happens. One good thing about the lever nuts is it's kind of a superior connection when you're attaching stranded and solid. But you're going to notice right here, I'm not going to lift up this lever, and we're able to push that in there. So just like we're able to push this in here, we can also pull it out, which seems like a problem. But these are very comparable to the Wagos. They're very comparable to the Ideals. They all do this. You just need to understand the limitations of actually installing this. If we start twisting on this, it's very easy to pull these out, which can be problematic. If we start twisting on this, you're going to see that it's going to start to come out. Same thing here. When we have the wires installed stationary here and we start moving this around, you're going to see where you're going to start to get loose connections. One really good benefit of this is stranded to solid, so there's no doubt about that. And for homeowners, they're really good. But be mindful about the limitations of the installation. When we install these, I'm going to lift this all the way up. We're going to insert it in here, and we're going to lock it down. And just so you're comfortable with what's going on here, we're going to get a new one so you can see. So we're going to get a new one out of the box. We'll get this from this double. We'll lift it all the way up. We're going to go ahead and strip the wire. We're going to stick it in here. And we're going to lock it down. With ease, we can give it a couple of twists and it pops right out. Without even lifting up the lever completely, we're going to be able to pull this out. So we're going to lift it all the way up. We're going to fully insert it. We're going to lock it down. We're going to lift this lever up just slightly. And you're going to see where the lever was not locked in the up position. You need to be mindful about how you're installing these, what they're resting up against inside the box. And especially when you go to install that device as a final position, whether you've spun it around, whether you've loosened something. The wire nut in my position, from my stance, is better in every way. I believe that the wire nut is the way to go, stranded or solid. It really doesn't matter whether you pre-twist or you don't pre-twist. If you ask me, I would still say that the wire nut is going to be the superior connection. So if we look at this here, and we get pliers here, you can see how strong that is. we broke the wire, okay? If we do that to a Wago, I don't think it's going to fare too well, guys. We'll try it for you. We're actually still attached to the pliers, so we're going to try it again. We're going to restrip it. Here we go. We need a solid, so we'll go ahead and use this one. Get a new one. We'll get a new lever nut for you guys. We're going to install it properly. We're going to lock it in there. We're going to take this one. We're going to make sure it's all together in there. We're going to install that there. And I'm just going to give it a little tug here. Alright, that's all I got. You guys have a good day. We'll see you on the next one. Sub for more.